Get ready to enter the Thrive Time Show.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
We started from the bottom, now we're on the top. Teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colton Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of five, that's why I'm alive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the C&Z up on your radio. And now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get.
We are here today talking about products. We have Clay Clark here sharing his advice and expertise, all of his tips. The biggest thing is once I have a product, what do I sell it for?
Yeah, this is big, and I want to make sure the Thrivers are getting this because I'm going to tell you things that don't make sense, and they're not common sense.
Right.
They're not going to go with what you've been told. They're going to go against what you've been told.
Interesting.
So here's an example, okay? The first principle is focus on paying yourself first and making money.
That does sound counterintuitive. Yeah.
So I talked to a doctor just yesterday. The doctor says to me, I'm going to start selling memberships at my medical clinic. Thrivers, how cool is this idea?
Yeah.
Unlimited doctor visits throughout the year. It's a month-to-month fee.
I would so
So
sign
for
up
people
that.
who have no insurance or very little insurance, and you can come back as much as you want, and Homie's talking about pricing it for under $200.
I like that better than insurance, actually. I'd rather do that.
Yeah. So he says, well, what about, and so I'm going, it's a good point, good question.
Yeah.
So here's what we got into. I said, how much do you want to pay yourself per year? And he'd never thought about that.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I don't know. I just I want to figure out what I need to charge. I'm like, no, stop. How much do you want to make per year? And we thought about it. And we wrote down the number, $30,000 a month.
Okay.
Because he has certain expenses.
Right.
None of our business what they are.
Right.
But he has certain goals. None of my business. But I imagine he wants to buy a boat. I'd imagine he wants to take his kids on vacation. I imagine he wants to save. I imagine he has charities wants to give back to. So we did the math and we figured out he wants to make $30,000 a month. I said, okay, so if you want to make $30,000 a month and you were charging $150 total and you had 200 customers, that's how much you would need to charge, assuming no one else worked there and there was no overhead.
Right.
But you start with how much do you need to, so I'm saying per customer, you need to make $150 per customer if you can handle 200 customers.
Gotcha.
So the question starts with how much do you want to make? And
Wow.
another example with the haircut business, my brother-in-law is involved in the
Yes.
the elephant in the room.
Elephant.
How many of you know a barber who's
do.
just making it?
Oh, yeah. Several.
Okay, they're just barely,
Several.
and they're like, hey, you got to come on in, get your hair done.
Right.
And they're working to their fingers
yeah.
to the bone.
Packed.
And they're always loving the new style.
Yeah.
Their hair is always got a little red in it,
Yes.
little blue in it.
Yes.
They're always trying something new. They're trying the different. And every barber that I've ever met, I've only met 3 barbers that are not financially just moment to moment.
Right.
A lot of
Right.
barbers are going, hey, could you give me my tips tonight? I need
Yes.
those right now.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
A lot of barbers aren't reporting those taxes because they want to keep all that cash.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, this is real stuff.
Right.
So my brother-in-law says, I want to cut hair for a living. I said, okay, cool. How much do you want to make per year? What do you mean? Well, I mean, before we price the haircut, how much do you want to make?
Okay, I have a question about that because that is a really great tip, but why is that not where we start? I mean,
Well,
what
most
is that
people
about?
most people never start there because what they do is we are taught to be selfish, selfless.
Right.
And so we always think about, well, what am I going to pay my front desk guy?
Right.
What am I going to pay the lady who helps me? What am I going to pay? What am I going to pay? And we add up all the costs, and then we just barely charge enough to make it.
So you have to start with yourself first.
Put
and
yourself first.
Then go through. the
Which
other
on a
stuff.
little bit of a spiritual woo-woo, a little bit of a woo-woo.
I like woo-woo.
If this is my coffee cup, and it's weird, but let's just say that I hadn't had a sip of it already.
Right.
And Trita's like, well, she said, can I have some coffee? If I had enough coffee for me to be adequately amplified,
Right.
then I could say, yeah, you know what? We've got enough coffee for both of us. Here's some coffee for you. Here's some coffee for me. Now, a
Right.
third guy walks in. Can I have some coffee? Sure. Fourth guy, fifth, sixth. Pretty soon, I'm sitting there asleep on the mic.
Right.
Drivers, this is exciting times.
Wake
Get the
up.
guy some coffee. Get him some coffee. We can't. He's giving it all away.
Right.
This is how people are going through life.
Yes.
They're giving all their money over here. You get all these letters from missionaries wanting your money. You got a message for the March of Dimes. They want your money. Meanwhile, you need some money.
Right.
So I'm just talking about let's focus on ourselves for just a first.
Yeah. And it doesn't mean you're going to forget about the other people. You're going to include them too, but start with yourself first.
And a little
That's
marriage
good.
tip. Talked to a thriver last night who said, hey, I'm trying to find a spouse that could make me happy. And I want to know if you had any true story. I want to know if you had any trainings on that. And I said, Brotown, you have to be happy first.
Right. That's
Then you focus, when you marry, you focus on making the other person happy.
Right.
But someone else can't make you happy. That's a decision you make. So thrivers, the customers can't make you financially abundant. You have to focus on making yourself financially abundant. Then you can bless other people. That's how that works.
I like it. I also like how you said the doctor, what was his goal for the month? Like what was his standard of living? What was his goal? Because it's going to be different for everyone, but you can set that for yourself.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, you can absolutely set it for yourself. And everyone's different. He said, I want to make $30,000 a month. Now, if he said 10 or 5, it'd be different. Now, I want to read this notable quotable to you by Ayn Rand. She's a best-selling author. Some people hate when I reference her.
Well,
And my family, people are like,
I'm a former English teacher, so from a literature standpoint, I can just appreciate analyzing the work.
okay, so here's what I'm going to read to you. She says, money demands that you sell not your weakness to men's stupidity, but your talent to their reason. What is she saying? We're saying money demands that you sell not your weakness to men's stupidity. She's saying don't take advantage of people by selling them crap that they don't need. But if you're going to sell somebody, if you sell your talent to their reason, if you are bringing it, I'm going to tell you this, thrivers, I'm not a perfect person, but I bring you every ounce of what I have. I know you do too.
Yes.
We're here to help you.
Right.
This is what we do.
Right.
And I'm going to bring you the very best of what I have. It might not be perfect. I know it needs some Photoshop, but the thing is I bring you the best that I have, and I believe that if you're reasonable and you see the value in it, then people are willing to pay for that.
Okay, you quoted Ayn Rand, so now my literature mind is kicking in. She has another novel called The Fountainhead, and it's about this guy who is an architect, and he is into what we know now as modern architecture.
Yep.
But he's pressing up against, this was written in like the 1940s,
Yep.
and so he's going against what's considered traditional architecture at the time. And anyway, the whole theme is about when to honor yourself as an individual and
Yep.
when to be a part of the collective.
Okay. Okay. Now we're getting into, I'm going to real quick because this is kind of like one of these knowledge bomb moments
Yes,
where I got to,
boom.
all right. So here's the deal. If you guys get a chance to go buy an album today or go on iTunes and find it. Okay. I want you guys, this is a good example for you. If you Google One Republic and you look at their first album called Dreaming Out Loud.
Yes, I remember that one.
It is almost a spiritual album.
It's good.
And it has a lot of meaning. And the song that the radio played was Too Late to Apologize.
Yes.
They also played Stop and Stare a little bit.
Yeah.
But a lot of it was, it's now the next album, they put a little bit more pop in there. Good Life. You heard the song Good
Yes,
Life?
Good life.
That's right. They put that in there and people start to go, I know that song.
Yeah.
Then they put in All the Right Friends and All the Right Places. And they started putting in a few more pop songs.
Right.
Now, how does this pertain? Well, if you make songs that are pop friendly, like One Republic has done, now people get to hear the rest of the album
Right.
because they bought it.
You got them in with that one.
Got them in with the one. Boom. Third album. You know, they have the song Counting Stars.
Yes.
All these songs that are mega hits now. I'm just telling you what happens is now more people get into the artistic merits of the rest of the album because they sold out and made a pop song.
Right. But it's something about you have to balance those
You
two.
do, because the
You really
songs
do.
still have the lyrical meaning that they love.
Definitely.
But at the same time, it's not quite as... I know people who are like purists. They're like, U2 isn't what they used to be. Back in
Right.
the day, they wrote songs with meaning. Now they're just writing pop music. Well, you got to have that balance.
Right.
But all I'm saying is, at the end of the day, you live one time.
Yeah.
It's very, very important that what you're making is your life's work. And whether you believe in God or not, I would just say I view work as worship.
Right.
And you want to do your very best
Right.
at what you're doing so that you feel good about it.
Yeah. Here's the thing with this too that's so interesting to me with the whole individualist or collective thing is a lot of times we focus on collective and we forget about ourselves as an individual. And that's the thing that keeps standing out to me when you told the doctor you have to start with yourself first and then you can take care of the collective.
I have a racist question for you.
Okay. What is it?
Here's my thing. We have a lot of thrivers here on the site, all
Yes.
different from all different countries. We have 75 something countries. 75 countries. That's crazy.
Awesome.
And I talked to a lot of Asians. lot of Asians. For some reason, Asians love us.
They love us.
And
yeah.
it's because I'm Caucasian.
Yeah.
See, but anyway, no, but seriously. And then we talked to a lot of African Americans.
Yeah.
Talked to a lot of people, all different backgrounds. But I've heard specifically with some African Americans I've talked
Right.
to in Brooklyn. Where you at?
Brooklyn.
And these people, and they've told one lady, she goes, I feel like as I have been moving to the advancement and improvement of what I've been doing, I'm trying to make more money. And she's like, I set my prices. Now my money is where I need it to be.
Sweet.
I've decided to move. And she's like, some family has been like, hey, don't forget your roots.
Right.
And I've seen this
Right.
a lot. I mean, this is a pattern I've seen a lot. What's going on? And why is it that certain cultures don't value putting yourself above the collective? What is
Right.
going on where the
Right.
collective's trying to hold her and other people back?
I understand. That's a really interesting question. Number one, I can't speak for all people, but I can just share my experience. I'm putting that disclaimer because somebody will call me out on that.
Not you people.
Right.
You people.
Right. I think sometimes, our family, our ties, they're so strong. We're so rooted in them, and it's a beautiful thing. But I think it goes back to mindset. Do you have a growth mindset? Do you have a fixed mindset? For me, I come from a family, and they were saying, hey, go out and do more than I did, achieve more than me. So it just depends. Some people are intimidated by that. They don't want you to do that. I think it goes back to mindset, really.
But somebody listening to this might need to break free right now
you got to break through.
of your mindset and move above. Now,
Or the collective mindset of your family,
and I've talked to a lot of these Asian thrivers. I'm just being real. These are just patterns I've seen.
Right,
And
right.
it seems like they're high achievers, a lot of these people.
Yeah, definitely.
And-
Culturally, it's an expectation.
And one guy was like, I already make a lot of money, almost crying. And he's like, I don't want to make anymore. What I'm looking for is life balance. I feel like they're putting their goals on me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, dude, I had to practice my musical instruments. Not even kidding. 5 hours a day as a kid. I'm
Yeah.
like, as a kid? Yeah. And I had to do, he's like, I had to be top of my class, top.
Yeah.
And my business is top. And I just want to be able to relax.
Right.
So I guess my theme here is when you define your pricing, I know we're talking about pricing,
Yeah.
but decide how much you want to make. Don't let me decide.
Right.
Don't let your mom
Have
decide.
a balance, a healthy balance.
What do you want to do?
That's
Now, the
good.
next principle is you want to know your costs.
Yes. Tell me about the eggs. You told me about the egg story. We're gonna
Okay.
talk
Well,
about it. Yeah, what
there's
is
a
it?
bakery I used to work with back in the day in Dallas. And this lady was super sweet, nice lady. And I'm not kidding. She'd sell wedding cakes for like $600. $600. Okay. And at the
Must have been
end of
delicious
the,
cake.
at the end of the wedding, no money was left.
Oh,
So I'm like, how are you charging someone $600 for a cake? You're selling 4 cakes a week. And how's there no money left?
delicious cake. No money left.
Well, she's like, I don't know. I see that's the thing. Everybody, I don't know. And she was really crying. She was, every month, I use it at the end of the month. I don't know. And I felt bad. I'm not trying to make light of it. She really was in a
Right.
bad spot.
Yeah, that's
Single
horrible.
mom going through stuff.
That's horrible.
And I was like, well, it's going somewhere.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't know where it's going. I said, so what I did is I had my wife follow this person around
Yes.
and literally cost out everything she bought during the day.
Good move.
And we discovered that if the numbers that were in her head were actually true, that she would be paying $20 for an egg. Oh my gosh. If they were actually true in her mind. What was happening is she was a terrible manager and had no concept of how much time people were spending to, you can either, make the cake batter, or you can make the cake batter on Facebook. It's like 6 hours to make it,
Right.
or an hour.
So is this based off of doing poor math in her head, or is this a productivity thing with her team with the $20 eggs?
2, she did not know her unit economics. So unit economics are, and if you own a bakery as an example, you need to tell people it takes you 7 minutes to stir.
Right.
It takes you 2 minutes to pour.
Right.
1 minute to 3
Because
minutes
time
to
is money, and
Yeah.
this is all tying in.
15 minutes, put the frosting on. They call
Right.
it crumb coating, but they put the
Yes.
crumb coating.
Yes.
We had one person, no joke, spending 2 hours crumb coating. Crumb coating should be like 15 minutes.
Can't do that.
What's crumb coating? We have other episodes hanging there.
Vanessa taught me that, by the
Oh,
way.
really? Okay.
She did.
And then there's fondant,
Yes.
putting fondant on it, or there's buttercream. There's different
prefer
kinds.
buttercream.
And if you put buttercream on, there's an example. That's a very detailed, but it shouldn't be taking you 6 hours.
Right.
So you have to define how much time it takes to do every task and how much money it costs for every item. Otherwise, you end up looking at the end of the month and going, I think these eggs, literally the thought process. I talked to one of her managers. She goes, I just think the cost of eggs has gone up a lot. And I was like, and seriously, I'm not kidding. She kept going back to that.
Blame it on the eggs. Blame it on the eggs.
I was just saying,
Milli Vanilli. They should have
blame it on the rain.
Eggs.
That was so. The thing is, I'm just telling you, I saw that where this
Wow.
person was working 60 hours a week,
Wow.
and there was no understanding of cost. So Thrivers is an action item. I want you to go ahead and just email us info@thrive15.com. We're going to give you a template for a cost sheet for my photography business.
Sweet.
And you can just plug in your stuff instead of my stuff. And you're going to have what we call a pro forma, which is a projected formula of what it would cost. And what happens is with our photography company, I know after every wedding exactly how much I'm going to make. And the good side of the story is with this bakery, we ended up figuring out that if you hold people accountable to these hours, so we started paying people per task, not per hour, you will for sure have a $300 profit left in every cake.
Boom.
And then if you do 10 cakes a week, you make $3,000 profit.
Money.
Bam.
That's
That's the main thing. So I want to make sure we're just getting that. One is just decide how much money you want to make. 2, know those costs.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Clay. Up next, we're going to talk about knowing the market. Okay, we're back with episode 2, Know the Market. Clay, tell us, what are the principles for knowing the market?
Well, you have to know your customer. So I can think of a ton of examples of this, but I was in New York here last week, and they have these food trucks that serve Indian food.
I love food trucks.
And so if you're serving Indian food, just understand that nobody who does not like Indian food is going to come there.
Right.
That doesn't mean that you should serve Indian food and burgers.
Yeah.
And I saw some food trucks who didn't get it.
Oh.
And I saw a few that did get it.
Okay.
But there's
Could
a
you
couple.
tell success between the ones that did and
You can
didn't?
absolutely do it.
Okay.
And so the guy who's like the authentic Indian food guy, he's got a big old line.
Sweet.
I mean, it's a huge. The guy who's just doing the gyros, what are they called, gyros or the sandwiches?
Gyros.
Like, gyros. The Greek
No
food.
Gyros.
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 Gyros. Okay.
The G is silent.
No, it's unbelievable. See the education I'm getting here. Gyros. And then we had another person that was serving the. I want to say it's flan. Am I making up that word? Flan.
Yes, flan.
Flan.
Mexican dessert.
Yeah. So, but people are getting in line for those things. But the guy is like, we serve hamburgers and Indian food and Coca-Cola.
Everything.
It's just like, no, I don't think so.
hodgepodge
No
of
one's in that
everything.
line. So you have to know your markets. I'm asking you right now, who is your ideal and likely buyer that you're going after?
Right. How do you decide that, though? How
Well,
do you
you know me back in the DJ days.
I do.
So I used to DJ at the Club Millennium, which was a disaster. That was not a good life choice.
remember
I DJ'd a lot at the Yucatan Liquor Stand. That was awesome. I also DJ'd at Cronies. All 3 regrettable mistakes.
Yes.
But the problem is they liked me. So then I would keep coming back, and my whole job, it's like, all right, folks, it's Thirsty Thursdays, the Yucatan Liquor Stand. For how many ladies we have here? Ladies, ladies night, every night here at Yucatan Liquor Stand. We got volleyball up front. Stick up next, folks. We're going to be playing the yada yada game. And every week I'm like, I hate my life. But I didn't decide. I wasn't intentional about my ideal and likely buyers. I just took whatever business came to me.
Right.
So now as I've gotten older and I've kind of, we have 5 kids and we've built the family, I've realized I don't want to go out. I want to go in.
Right. Right.
I always like, I want to go
getting
in.
older too. I want to go home,
Yeah. I'm just like, people, you want to go out? No, I want to go in.
I want to go home. Yeah.
So I'm just saying is I have decided now, I love my most precious memories, the things I cherish the most. This next Friday, Thrivers, you might know this, but my dad, he's dying of ALS, and we're right kind of at the closing in there. Yeah. And so he told me, he said, like, son, I can't go to my reunion. And I know he's been like waiting for this. He's been looking forward, like pushing towards, like, that's a goal he has. I want to be alive until I want to get to one more reunion. He's very into like the high school buddies.
Yeah.
So he's like, I just can't go. I can't breathe anymore. He's on a respirator. And I was like, so I'm kind of that jerk entrepreneur again. I'm like, Dad, if money was not a cost or an issue or an obstacle, where would you go? And he's like, well, but it's like 35 cents a mile. Like, okay, so assuming that it was paid for, what would you have to ride in? And he's like, I think I'd have to ride in like a limo bus or a van with it. And I'm like, okay, what else? And then if you went, could you physically go for? I mean, even if you went there for 5 minutes, would you feel? And he goes,
about that.
and he's like, yes, I want to go. And he grew up in Waco, so he wants to go. He wants to visit his mom and dad's burial site. He wants to visit his old house one last time. And so I'm like, well, we're freaking going. And he's like, no way. But that was like, for me, that's like what I cherish. I do not cherish going out to eat with customers.
Yeah, I understand.
I hate going out to eat with customers.
I understand.
So Thrivers, I'm just being real. I like meeting you at workshops and I love connecting.
Definitely.
But I don't want to like meet every single person who gets their hair cut at Elephant in the Room and sit down and meet them for dinner.
Well, there's only so much time, and you have to be wise with your time and what you're doing.
I want to sit down with my son and talk about the intricacies of whacking a golf ball.
Yes.
So all I'm saying is you have to define your ideal and likely buyers that you want to work with. Don't just take what comes, because if not, you're going to find yourself at the Yucatan liquor stand on Thirsty Thursdays. DJing until the end of your life.
And I love how you were intentional, even with your dad, just asking him, okay, what would it take to get here? It's kind of taking that time to think through that process. And
it's brutal, because if you're not careful. Another example, I want to give you a bunch of them real fast.
I love it.
Bakery lady I used to work with. She used to make a ton of cupcakes.
Yeah.
And I said, why do you make cupcakes? Well, because customers always ask for them. But you don't have to make them just because they ask for them. Well, I want to keep them happy. Well, but you don't make any profit on them. You sell them for $2 and you maybe make 50 cents. You realize you'd have to sell 1,000 a week just to make $500, and you wouldn't have any room left in your ovens to make cakes. She's like, I know I had to turn down some cakes recently because we're making so many cupcakes.
Wrong choice. Okay.
We all do it in some way. So you have to define your ideal and likely buyers and friends. Now, the principle number 4 is you definitely want to know your competition.
Okay.
You've got to know. Now, there's a book called Made in America by Sam Walton. I just want to put the book up on the screen so people can see it.
Yes.
But Sam explains in the book how to beat Walmart.
You're kidding me.
No, he says, like, if you want to beat me, he's like, open a sporting goods store next to us.
Okay.
Because there'll be traffic already.
What a great guy. I love Sam Walton.
He was real. He's like,
I know, old school realness.
He
Love
says,
it.
listen, if you open up one right next to us, people are already going to show up.
Right.
And he's like, I'm only going to stock the baseball gloves that I can get at a very cheap price.
Right.
And I'm the most broad ones, but I'm not going to have a specialty catcher's mitt.
Right.
I'm not going to have a specialty soccer ball. I'm not going to have
sporting good. Like somebody needs to get on that, get next to a Walmart.
That's right. And so he was like, if you have a specialty store, you will beat me, because there's no way I've tried to price things low and have the broad general things. I'm not ever going to be a specialty store.
Right.
So he says, if you want to beat us, open a specialty store. And it's super, super important that you right now as Thrivers think about who's your competition, even through Walmart.
Right.
And how are you going to beat them? Don't try to out Walmart. Amazon right now, there's big studies coming out saying
wait. You said don't try to out Walmart. That's good.
Well, you hear like the Amazon study that came out.
Good.
It just came out, and Amazon said, Amazon, it says, the study just showed that Amazon's taking more and more market share from Walmart.
Oh, wow.
But Walmart's entrenched. They're like, we're not changing our business plan. You know why? Because there's certain people who want to go out to a store,
the Walmart,
to buy the thing.
Right.
And there's another group of people who says, I want to ship it. Now, for me, I'm just being real. I don't like ordering stuff online.
Me neither. I'm kind of suspicious sometimes.
I hate
I want to
waiting.
touch it. I want to go touch it.
We bought that freaking couch over there. I know the drivers can't see it.
Yeah.
I waited on that thing for like 9 weeks. Like, what is this? Is there like an Amish guy hand carving this right now? I mean,
well, and then if you get it and you don't like it, the hassle of sending it back, it's like, I don't want to bother with that.
put it back in a box.
Yeah,
the couch.
I don't want to do that. Got to go to the UPS store or post office. I
hate ordering online.
Yeah.
So Walmart has found there's a certain group of people.
Right.
And not every person who's under the age of 30 wants to order every single thing online.
Truth.
That's why Airbnb has done well.
Yes.
How many people want to go on vacation and stay in somebody's house? To me, I'm like, I don't even want certain family members at my house. I mean, there's certain, being real,
I know what
certain
you
family
mean.
members going, hey, we're in town. Can I stay? And I'm like, nope. I'll get you a hotel.
Nope, we're not in town.
I'll put you up
gone.
we're out of town. Doors are locked. We'll put you in a hotel though.
I like the idea of Airbnb.
But some people like
it's a neat
it.
idea, but I don't know if I'm ready.
But
what if they're crazy?
So Airbnb isn't trying to out Hilton.
Right, because you're not going to beat them.
Yes, you're not going to. So you've got to find out your niche. So Thrivers, we're for people who want to have some fun. They want to laugh. They want to learn what you need to know to grow your business. You're not into this like BS zone where you're talking about walking on the hot coals and trying to overcome mental adversities while paying $23,000 to a guy you met online. I mean, we're not going to have those woo-woo things.
Right.
We're all about like the real deal. How do you do it?
Yeah.
And for those of you who enjoy it, it's great. People who do want to go to the woo-woo seminar and pay $23,000 to walk on hot lava, that's fine.
Yeah. I'm hosting one of those at my house this weekend.
Oh, really?
Okay, so pay me, okay?
Pay Shark.
Pay me. But yeah, we're here to give you practical tips. And up next, we're going to be talking about the formula for pricing.
Bang.
Okay, we are back. Today we're going to be talking about the formula for pricing. Clay Clark, you have started, sold, built, consulted so many different businesses. Talk to us about the formula for pricing.
Well, here's the deal. After you know your market, after you've gone through the process of getting to know your market, you're now going to get to this deal where you have to actually go through the linear process of defining your final price. We've started off by talking about how much money do we want to make. Now we need to know our costs, and now we're into knowing the market. So here we go. What you need to do is you want to know your actual product costs. It's a formula, okay? So take your product costs. It's called the cost of goods. You might see it as COGS, C-O-G. If you go to a college course on this, they'll call it COGS. But you just want to know the cost of the goods. What are all the things that go into the product?
Okay.
So I'm making up an example for the service industry. I'll do the chiropractic center I'm involved in.
Sweet.
So what does it cost per patient to see a patient? How much are you paying the doctor per hour?
Right.
I don't know. Well, if you pay the doctor $100,000 a year and you divide it by 40 hours, how much are you paying per hour? So figure that out. Your actual, think about what materials needed. What do you mean what material? Well, you put down, you always wipe down, when people go get their back adjusted, they lay down on a table of some sorts.
Yes.
And they put that plastic, that
papery
paper
thing.
on
I
it.
hate that thing. It
So
gets
do
on
I.
my nerves, yeah.
They put it on there to make sure that it's
It's
clean.
safe and sanitary. I get it.
But what does that cost?
All right.
Then you have someone who's greeting you at the front desk. What are you paying them?
Right.
You print off the receipt. What does that cost? You have the software needed to save the file. What does that cost? You have the phone bill to answer the phone. What does that cost? You pay insurance for the building. You have the lease. What does that cost?
Right.
You medical insurance, health insurance, build business insurance. What does that cost?
Okay, so what you're saying is that there's a lot built into the cost. It's not just how much did this microphone cost. It's how did we package it? How did we ship it? You have to think about the cost behind the cost.
And I'm going to give you guys the linear list of all of them so you don't
Nice.
forget a step.
Nice.
And we have a pro forma, which you email us info@thrive15.com. I will give you an actual pro forma that I've used for actual businesses that will help you.
Nice.
So know your actual product costs plus your labor costs per product plus your marketing costs. What do you mean? I mean, how much are you going to spend to acquire a customer? At Elephant in the Room, we spend $8 per customer.
Wow.
That's what it costs to get you to come to the Elephant in the Room haircut business.
Now, how did you come up with that number? What made you decide that?
Well, what happens is we run online ads very aggressively. We do mailers and Valpak, those blue envelopes.
Yes, I know
We do those. And we do the online ads. We also do retargeting ads, the ads that follow you around. We also do gift cards. We pass out a card saying, friends don't let friends have bad haircuts.
Like
and
it.
it's a picture of a guy with a mullet. If you have a mullet,
Come to Elephant in the Room.
that's right. Maybe you're proud of that thing. That's okay. Just rock that thing then, okay? But anyway, so we know that after all the costs we spend per month, you divide it by the number of new customers.
Okay.
And we've got to a point where it's about $8.
Okay. So is that, if I were trying to price my product, is that something that I need to splurge on, be moderate on? How do I know
This is
where to
where it's going to rock your mind. With the real estate company I'm involved, Sprick Realty. I'm a partner with that thing. Sprick Realty, we spent $72 per lead. Lead, not even per deal.
Wow.
To acquire new customers.
Yeah.
So it was like $190 to it was like almost $200 to get a customer.
Wow.
Now we're down to about $30.
Okay.
So you have to just you have to do your research. Don't be stupid. But whatever works, you want to make sure that you document it. That's why you need to ask every customer, where did you come from?
Okay.
How'd you hear about us? Because I used to do advertisements back in the day in a lot of different publications. And there's one magazine in Tulsa I used to advertise in all the time because I always did.
Right.
And then one time I thought about how many people have I ever booked from this glossy magazine?
Okay.
And I discovered zero. But I got a lot from bridal shows. So you want to figure out what are your costs to get a customer. The next is your monthly hard operating costs. Those are all things we talked about, like your lease, those are costs that don't go up or down. It's the same cost every month. Your utilities, your insurance, your insert, anything that's your phone bill, your boom. Then your income per product sold. So you want to figure out, okay, how much money do I want to make per product I sell?
Okay.
Do I want to make $4 per customer? $10 per patient?
Thinking about that up front and then building that into the cost.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You put it in there. Then you want to say the cost of capital. What's the cost of capital? Well, if you borrowed money,
Right.
You want to figure out what are the costs, how much interest are you paying per month? How much debt are you servicing?
So even that, you break that down and add that into the cost of the product? Is
Absolutely,
that what you're saying?
everything. This
Okay.
all goes into it.
Wow.
So if you're like, elephant in the room as an example, when we open up a shop, we're not selling franchises yet, but
Right.
if you were to buy a franchise from us, you'd pay about $2,800 a month in a small business loan if you borrowed money,
Right.
and you're going to see about 300 customers a week.
Okay.
So if you take 300, right? That's 12 times 4 weeks. There's 1,200 customers a month. 1,200 customers a month. And how much was the loan? $2,800.
Right.
So So what does that cost? It's about $2.2
Okay.
per customer for your loan.
This is so amazing because typically you just think if this costs $10, you're just covering the cost of this item. But no, there's a lot embedded in there.
A lot.
Right.
And you got to think of packaging.
Right.
Presentation. Now,
That's important.
one of our good friends, she started a company called Rustic Cuff. Jill Donovan, she's one of our mentors.
I love those.
And the Rustic Cuffs, I will tell you, the products are phenomenal.
Yes, they're beautiful.
But the packaging is also phenomenal.
Because you get the bag, and the
the
bag is
bag.
different. It's like a different bag with each, season or way. I love them.
Have you ever bought an iPad, iPod,
Yes,
iPod?
I have.
Who here owns an iPad and
Yep.
kept the box?
Mine, I did keep mine.
Everyone does.
I really did. And you know what? Just opening it was like almost a spiritual experience. So sleek and clean, and you're like, oh,
You felt
it's
the
beautiful.
aura of Steve Jobs.
I did.
And he
I
was
did.
obsessed. And he
did.
said that he wanted to make packaging. This was his thing. So I want to make packaging that is so awesome,
Yeah.
so awesome that people want to keep it.
Well, I did, and I didn't even think through that. He succeeded. He
there it
succeeded.
is. So Steve Jobs, I mean, we'll put up some of the quotes from Steve Jobs. I want to talk about
And Birchbox does that too. Beautiful
Birchbox, absolutely.
boxes. Beautiful
And I'm going to
boxes.
tell you this. There's a Steve Jobs quote we'll put up on the screen, but Steve Jobs talks about how most people aren't used to an environment where excellence is expected, and you have to be the yardstick. You have to be the yardstick for excellence. So all I'm saying is that you got to budget in for your packaging, and the packaging has got to be awesome.
important, yeah.
My brother-in-law with the elephant in the room, I got to tell you, that we've had some spiritual conversations, but I'm going, do we have to spend this much money on the logos or the labels and the packaging? And he's like, yes.
Yes, it's important.
And I'm like, come on. Now, he's right.
Yeah.
But as the guy who's teaming up with him to
I get
finance
it.
the business, I'm like, dude, now in his defense, we did dollar for dollar. We matched. So whatever he spent, I matched it.
Right.
Dollar for dollar. But he's like, no, we need to have great packaging.
Yeah.
And I'm like, come on,
But
just
see, he's following your outline.
he is
He's doing a
That's
good job.
But in the emotion of the moment where you're
Right.
like, this
Right.
business hasn't made any money.
Yeah.
Now we're doing this chopping mops.
Right.
So now the next thing is you want to figure out your shipping and handling costs.
Right.
What's it cost to ship it?
How do you figure that out?
Well, one lady I'm working with has a great company. You should check it out. It's called SurpriseGiftCo.com, I believe. Surprise Gift Co. Hopefully I'm not a bad consultant. But if you go up there, she has a fabulous product and she has fabulous packaging.
Okay.
And in her mind, the packaging needs to be a certain standard. Now, she weighed everything. She thought it would be this much, thought it might be this much, whatever. She weighs it and discovers, okay, this is what it's actually going to cost to mail it.
Okay, so you got to go to UPS or the post office and do some reconnaissance work.
Go to the post office.
Don't go to the post office.
Have you been to the post office?
I haven't.
You ever
in a
been there
while.
before?
I have, but not recently.
you remember?
I do.
Was it good? Is it a good one you went to? Did you have a good experience?
I mean,
Oh.
I haven't been back in a while.
Okay.
So
I'm just
saying,
saying, there's no
just
overhead
saying.
music. You walk in there and you're like,
Yeah. I once waited for a passport for like 3.5 hours and I had to have it. So I'm with you. FedEx, UPS. Where
Yeah.
would you go? Is that the
I
best
would go
place?
to UPS and
Okay.
FedEx
Okay.
and have them compete for your business.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to tell you this. They don't want to compete when you're shipping one thing a week. But when you say, hey, elephant in the room, if you guys go to check it out. I am. This is my new thing I'm doing. Anytime that I try to sell you something, the Illuminati.
It's the Jedi music. It's like,
Yeah.
we're taking
So
over your
go
mind.
to Elephant in the Room. Go to eitrlounge.com. Click on our store. Buy as much as you want
Yes.
to see how the system
And then buy some more.
works. But the thing is that when you go up there, when you buy something, we didn't know what it would cost per item to ship it to you until we had done it. Yeah, a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you go to your rep at the UPS store and you say, hey, listen, I want to ship a bunch of stuff through this site, then they go, well, if you ship 100 units a month or more, we'll give you this price point.
Sweet.
Or this price. And so it's very important. Now, the next thing is a charitable give back.
Love it.
We are in a generation right now, which I think in a lot of ways is becoming more authentic
Yeah.
than the previous generation.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
I like it.
I feel like it's
charity
like
water, different things I see. They're giving back. I appreciate that.
I feel like now this is the culture right now. You say, what does a millennial want? This is my theory.
Oh, God.
Here's what a millennial wants. A millennial wants to go, how much fat is in that burrito? And I tell you, and they go, okay, so that burrito will, if I eat this burrito and I eat that ice cream, how much fat's in the ice cream? Where was it sourced? Did you feed that cow well?
Yeah.
I did. So you're saying that this cow in this ice cream that I eat, in this I eat this huge burrito, this atomic, massive, game-changing burrito. If I eat this freshly sourced burrito and this ice cream, it's going to definitely cause me to gain weight. And I go, yeah. And they go, that's fine, but at least you're honest.
Yeah.
But that's like what a millennial wants.
Yeah.
Where my generation, I'm 35, I think people think from 35 to 50, we're like, put fat-free on it, say that it's,
I'm
fat-free.
not a fan of that.
But I think that's what we wanted. And then branding.
I know some people who do, but yeah, I'm not.
I think we bought that branding.
Yeah.
Now millennials are like, no.
But I don't believe, because I'm like, how'd you make it fat free? Like, where's the fat? Like, what'd you do?
Yeah, you can't have
and
zero
it tastes like cardboard.
Well, people are like,
you know?
rumor has it the 0-calorie beverages are causing cancer. Obviously.
Yeah, it's
what
like,
do you think
what
putting
is
in that
that?
thing?
What
So
is
all I'm
that?
saying is people want to be authentic. So
Yeah,
one way to be
definitely.
authentic, work with me here, is to go ahead and say what you care about. Now, we've had a lot of thrivers. I'm just being blunt about this.
Yeah.
Probably 35, not 50, out of the thousands who've got upset that we support the military.
Really?
Meaning when you buy a subscription to Thrive15.com, we have a free subscription to Thrive15 for anybody who's in the military. So if you're
Right.
watching right now, ask yourself, who do you know that's in the military? It's free.
Yeah.
Call them up. Say,
I
check
love
it out.
Why were they upset?
They thought that America shouldn't have a standing army. And they thought that we should not be a country that's involved in, we shouldn't have an army at all.
So not necessarily that we were being helpful to those people, just the political.
I literally talked to someone who I talked on the phone. They're very nice. I thought they were a reasonable person. They're like,
Right.
I can't respect any country that has an army or anybody that would support a country that has an army or support an army.
Wow.
And I'm not going to agree with everybody,
Right.
but you put your cause out front.
Right.
So Tom's shoes.
Right.
And you mentioned
Give one.
the water. You mentioned the
Charity water. I've
Charity-
bought things where they give to make wells in areas where there's no water.
So the
It's clean.
the Starbucks has their brand of water they give back. Warby Parker, if you
Yeah.
buy a pair of glasses, they give a pair of glasses.
I like it.
Think of your cause. Now, once you do, think about this. This is so huge. This is huge. Think about this. When you run a business, how good would you feel? Just secretly, how good do I feel? I feel great knowing that you're a paying subscriber, and you should feel great too, because
Yeah.
you know you're helping somebody
I love it.
and giving them a hand up.
I love it.
I don't like the handout game, but when you buy a pair of glasses and you know that you're helping a kid who couldn't normally
Who wouldn't
afford
have
them.
it. Yeah,
When
definitely.
Google did the laptop. You buy a laptop, they give a
Yes,
laptop.
yes.
I mean, guys, that you talk about, now you look at your weekly reports, we call it KPIs, but if you look at your key performance indicators and you see, hey, look, we have 1,000 customers this
Right.
week. But that just allowed your company to drill another well.
I love it.
How awesome do you
It's
feel?
good sowing and reaping, good karma, good juju, whatever you want to call it. You gotta give some away.
I
You
highly
gotta share.
recommend you budget for it. Otherwise,
Add
you're
it
going to
into
be
the cost.
Otherwise, people are going to think you're a Scrooge because you don't have any money to give away, and now
Right.
they're like, "How come our boss doesn't ever support anything?" We're like, "Because I didn't do the pricing systems on Thrive15.com."
So again, it's not just giving away the charity water, not giving away the shoe. It's not just giving away the membership. You build it into the cost of your product.
Absolutely. And I'm going to leave you with a quote because all this equals the price of your product. I'm going to
Right.
give you a quote. I'm paraphrasing. We'll put the actual quote on the screen. Paul Graham is the guy who started. He helped. It's called a Y Combinator. Is a company he started. It's an incubator where entrepreneurs have big ideas, transformative ideas, come to him, and he helps them launch them. But very few people get in. He helped launch Dropbox. He helped launch Reddit. He helped launch Airbnb. His whole thing is he says you want to charge enough where the customer complains, but still buys.
Just buys it.
So you know
That's good.
ultimately you add up all this stuff and you got to figure out what is the customer willing to pay for.
Right.
And it's a little bit of a trial and error because if the
Yeah.
customer's not willing to pay that much,
Because Netflix went through that, didn't they? When
They
they
did.
upped it, and it was like, we're out. You know.
and so like think about Nike shoes.
Yeah.
They've now we'll add this stat to the screen. I'll add this to the screen here. Nike now is making shoes. They're selling. How much are Jordans?
I don't even know. They were like $250, $300 when I was teaching school and the kids wore them. Yeah.
So I'm saying Jordans are now, I mean, Michael Jordan still makes $100 million a year now off of endorsements. It was in Forbes. He makes $100 million a year still off of endorsements.
Wow.
But they're making the shoes for, I'm just going to say $60, $50 over in, third world countries.
Yes.
So the price of your product has nothing to do with the cost of making it. It's all of these things added up to give you the price. And I'm going to throw it back to you.
Thank you so much for sharing all of these tips to give us insight and information on how to formulate your pricing. As always, if you have any questions, need help, need tips, comments, give us a shout at info@thrive.com, thrive15.com. Left off the 15.
Hey, don't worry. If you don't go to thrive.com, you're going to go to a weird place. Do not go there. Thrive15.com.
Thrive15.com. That's important. Thank you.
Oh, awesome. Let me get one more big boom.
Boom.
JT, do you know what time it is?
4:10.
It's Tebow time in Tulsa, Jerusalem, baby. Tim Tebow is coming to Tulsa, Oklahoma, June 27th and 28th. We've been doing business conferences here since 2005. I've been hosting business conferences since 2005. What year were you born?
1995.
Dude, I've been hosting business conferences since you were 10 years old, but I've never had the two-time Heisman Award-winning Tim Tebow come present. And a lot of people, have followed Tim Tebow's football career on the field and off the field. And off the field, the guy's been just as successful as he has been on the field. Now, the big question is, JT, how does he do it?
Well, they're going to have to come and find out because I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying, Tim Tebow's going to teach us how he organizes his day, how he organizes his life, how he's proactive with his faith, his family, his finances. He's going to walk us through his mindset that he brings into the gym, into business. It is going to be a blasty blast in Tulsa, Jerusalem. Also, this is the first Thrive Time Show event that we've had where we're going to have a man who has built $100 million net worth.
Wow.
Who'll be presenting. Now, we've had a couple presenters that have had $1 billion net worth in some like real estate sort of things.
Yeah.
But this is the first time we've had a guy who's built a service business, and he's built over $100 million net worth in the service business. It's the yacht driving, multi-state living guru of franchising. Peter Taunton will be in the house. This is the founder of Snap Fitness, the guy behind 9 Round Boxing. He's going to be here in Tulsa, Jerusalem, Oklahoma, June 27th and 28th. JT, why should everybody want to hear what Peter Taunton has to say?
Oh, because he's incredible. He's just a fountain of knowledge. He is awesome. He has inspired me listening to him talk. And not only that, he also has, he practices what he teaches. So he's a real teacher. He's not a fake teacher like business school teachers. So you got to come learn from him.
Also, let me tell you this, folks. I don't want to get this wrong because if I get it wrong, someone's going to say, you screwed that up, buddy. So Michael Levine, this is Michael Levine. He's going to be coming. You say, who's Michael Levine? I don't want to get this wrong. This is the PR consultant of choice for Michael Jackson, for Prince, for Nike, for Charlton Heston, for Nancy Kerrigan, 34 Grammy Award winners, 43 New York Times bestselling authors he's represented, including pretty much everybody you know who's been a super celebrity. This is Michael Levine, a good friend of mine. He's going to come and talk to you about personal branding and the mindset needed to be super successful. The lineup will continue to grow. We have hit Christian recording artist Colton Dixon in the house. Now, people say, Colton Dixon's in the house? Yes, Colton Dixon's in the house. So if you like top 40 Christian music, Colton Dixon's going to be in the house performing. The lineup will continue to grow each and every day. We're going to add more and more speakers to this all-star lineup. But I encourage everybody out there today, get those tickets today. Go to thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's thrivetimeshow.com. And some people might be saying, well, how do I do it? What do I do? How does it work? You just go to thrivetimeshow.com. Let's go there now. We're feeling the flow. We're going to thrivetimeshow.com. Again, you just go to thrivetimeshow.com. You click on the business conferences button, and you click on the request tickets button right there. The way I do our conferences is we tell people it's $250 to get a ticket.
Yep.
Or whatever price that you can afford. And the reason why I do that is I grew up without money. JT, you're in the process of building a super successful company. Did you start out with $1 million in the bank account?
No, I did not. Nope, did not get any loans, nothing like that. Did not get an inheritance from parents or anything like that. I had to work for it, and I'm super grateful. I came to a business conference. That's actually how I met you, met Peter Taunton. I met all these people.
So if you're out there today and you want to come to our workshop, again, you just got to go to thrivetimeshow.com. You might say, well, when's it going to be? June 27th and 28th. You might say, well, who's speaking? We already covered that. You might say, where's it going to be? It's going to be in Tulsa, Jerusalem, Oklahoma. And so it says Tulsa, Jerusalem. It's I'm really trying to rebrand Tulsa as Tulsa Jerusalem, sort of like the Jerusalem of America. But if you type in Thrive Time Show and Jinx, you can get a sneak peek or a look at our office facility. This is what it looks like. This is where you're headed. It's going to be a blasty blast. You can look inside, see the facility. We're going to have hundreds of entrepreneurs here. It is going to be packed. Now, for this particular event, folks, the seating is always limited because my facility isn't a limitless convention center. You're coming to my actual home office, and so it's going to be packed. So when June 27th and 28th, you're going to come. I'm talking to you. You can just get your tickets right now at thrivetimeshow.com. And again, you can name your price. We tell people it's $250 or whatever price you can afford. And we do have some select VIP tickets, which gives you an access to meet some of the speakers and those sorts of things. And those tickets are $500. It's a 2-day interactive business workshop, over 20 hours of business training. We're going to give you a copy of my newest book, The Millionaire's Guide to Becoming Sustainably Rich. You're going to leave with a workbook. You're going to leave with everything you need to know to start and grow a super successful company. It's practical, it's actionable, and it's Tebow time right here in Tulsa, Jerusalem. Get those tickets today at thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's thrivetimeshow.com.
Hello, I'm Michael Levine, and I'm talking to you right now from the center of Hollywood, California, where I have represented over the last 35 years 58 Academy Award winners, 34 Grammy Award winners, 43 New York Times bestsellers. I've represented a lot of major stars, and I've worked with a lot of major companies. And I think I've learned a few things about what makes them work and what makes them not work. Now, why would a man living in Hollywood, California, in the beautiful sunny weather of LA, come to Tulsa? Because last year I did it, and it was damn exciting. Clay Clark has put together an exceptional presentation, really life-changing, and I'm looking forward to seeing you then. I'm Michael Levine. I'll see you in Tulsa.
James, did I tell you my good friend John Lee Dumas is also joining us at the in-person 2-day interactive Thrive Time Show business workshop? That Tim Tebow and that Michael Levine will be at. Have I told you this?
You have not told me that.
Oh, he's coming all the way from Puerto Rico. This is John Lee Dumas, the host of the chart-topping EOFire.com podcast. He's absolutely a living legend. This guy started a podcast after wrapping up his service in the United States military, and he started recording this podcast daily in his home, to the point where he started interviewing big-time folks like Gary Vaynerchuk, like Tony Robbins, and he just kept interviewing bigger and bigger names, putting out shows day after day. And now he is the legendary host of the EO Fire podcast, and he's traveling all the way from Puerto Rico to Tulsa, Oklahoma to attend the in-person June 27th and 28th Thrive Time Show 2-day interactive business workshop. If you're out there today, folks, you've ever wanted to grow a podcast, a broadcast, you want to improve your marketing, if you've ever wanted to improve your marketing, your branding, if you've ever wanted to increase your sales, you want to come to the 2-day interactive June 27th and 28th Thrive Time Show business workshop featuring Tim Tebow, Michael Levine, John Lee Dumas, and countless big-time super successful entrepreneurs. It's going to be life-changing. Get your tickets right now at thrivetimeshow.com. James, what website is that?
thrivetimeshow.com.
James, one more time with more enthusiasm.
thrivetimeshow.com.
Shot everything rides on tonight. Even if I got 3 strikes, I'ma go for it. This moment, we own it. I'm not to be played with because it could get dangerous. See these people I ride with. This moment, we own it.
Thrive Time Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the world's highest rated and most reviewed business workshops because we teach you what you need to know to grow.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.
And now you may be thinking, what does it actually cost to attend an in-person 2-day interactive Thrive Time Show business workshop? Well, good news. The tickets are $250 or whatever price that you can afford. What? Yes, they're $250 or whatever price you can afford. I grew up without money, and I know what it's like to live without money. So if you're out there today and you want to attend our in-person 2-day interactive business workshop, all you got to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com to request those tickets. And if you can't afford $250, we have scholarship pricing available to make it affordable for you.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York. Acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
Whoa. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad Radio Show. Today I'm broadcasting from Phoenix, Arizona, not Scottsdale, Arizona. They're close, but they're completely different worlds. And we have a special guest today. Definition of intelligence is if you agree with me, you're intelligent. And so this gentleman is very intelligent. I've done his show before also, but very seldom do you find somebody who lines up on all counts. And it's a Mr. Clay Clark. He's a friend of a good friend, Eric Trump. But we're also talking about money, bricks, and how screwed up the world can get in a few and a half hours. So Clay Clark is a very intelligent man, and there's so many ways we could take this thing. But I thought, since you and Eric are close, Trump, what were you saying about what Trump can't, what Donald, who's my age, and I can say or cannot say?
First of all, I have to honor you, sir. I want to show you what I did to one of your books here. There's a guy by the name of Jeremy Thorne, who was my boss at the time. I was 19 years old, working at Faith Highway. I had a job at Applebee's, Target, and DirecTV. And he said, have you read this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad? And I said, no. And my father, may he rest in peace, he didn't know these financial principles. So I started reading all of your books and really devouring your books. And I went from being an employee to self-employed to the business owner to the investor. And I owe a lot of that to you. And I just wanted to take a moment to tell you thank you so much for allowing me to achieve success. And then I'll tell you all about Eric Trump. But I just want to tell you thank you, sir, for changing my life.
But not only that, Clay, thank you, but you become an influencer. More than anything else, you've evolved into an influencer where your word has more and more power. So that's why I congratulate you on becoming. Because as you know, there's a lot of fake influencers out there too, or bad influencers.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm glad you and I agree so much, and thanks for reading my books.
Yeah.
That's the greatest thrill for me today. Not a thrill, but recognition is when people, young men especially, come up and say, I read your book, changed my life. I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York. Acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
Whoa! Hey, I'm Ryan Wimpy. I'm originally from Tulsa, born and raised here. I went to a small private liberal arts college and got a degree in business. And I didn't learn anything like they're teaching here. I didn't learn linear workflows. I learned stuff that I'm not using and I haven't been using for the last 9 years. So what they're teaching here is actually way better than what I got at business school. And I went what was actually ranked as a very good business school. The linear workflow for us and getting everything out on paper and documented is really important. Like we have workflows that are kind of all over the place, so having linear workflow and seeing that mapped out on multiple different boards is pretty awesome. That's really helpful for me. The atmosphere here is awesome. I definitely just stared at the walls figuring out how to make my facility look like this place. This place rocks. It's invigorating. The walls are super, it's just very cool. The atmosphere is cool. The people are nice. It's a pretty cool place to be. Very good learning atmosphere. I literally want to model it and steal everything that's here at this facility and basically create it just on our business side.
Once I saw what they were doing, I knew I had to get here at the conference. This is probably the best conference or seminar I've ever been to in over 30 years in business.
You're not bored. You're awake, alive the whole time. It's not pushy. They don't try to sell you a bunch of things.
I was looking to learn how to just get control of my life, my schedule, and just get control of the business.
Planning your time, breaking it all down, making time for the F6 in your life, and just really implementing it and sticking with the program.
It's really lively. They're pretty friendly, helpful, very welcoming.
I attended a conference a couple months back, and it was really the best business conference I've ever attended.
At the workshop, I learned a lot about time management, really prioritizing what's the most important.
Biggest takeaways are, you want to take a step-by-step approach to your business. Whether it's marketing, what are those 3 marketing tools that you want to use, to human resources.
Now, some of the most successful people and successful businesses in this town, their owners were here today because they wanted to know more from Clay, and I found that to be kind of fascinating.
The most valuable thing that I've learned is diligence. That businesses don't change overnight. It takes time and effort, and you got to go through the ups and downs of getting it to where you want to go.
He actually gives you the roadmap out. I was stuck, didn't know what to do, and he gave me the roadmap out step by step.
We've set up systems in the business that make my life much easier, allow me some time freedom.
Here you can ask any question you want. They guarantee it'll be answered.
This conference motivates me and also give me a lot of knowledge and tools.
It's up to you to do it. Everybody can do these things. There's stuff that everybody knows, but if you don't do it, nobody else can do it for you.
I can see the marketing working. And it's just an approach that makes sense.
Probably the most notable thing is just the income increase that we've had.
Everyone's super fun. It's super motivating. I've been here before, but I'm back again because it motivates me.
Your competition's going to come eventually, or try to pick up these tactics. So if you don't, somebody else will.
I'm Rachel with Tip Top Canine, and we just want to give a huge thank you to Clay and Vanessa Clark.
Hey guys, I'm Ryan with Tip Top Canine. Just want to say a big thank you to Thrive 15. Thank you to Make Your Life Epic. We love you guys, we appreciate you, and really just appreciate how far you've taken us.
This is our old house, right? This is where we used to live 2 years ago. This is our old neighborhood. See? It's nice, right?
So this is my old van and our old school marketing, and this is our old team. And by team, I mean it's me and another guy.
This is our new house with our new neighborhood.
This is our new van with our new marketing, and this is our new team. We went from 4 to 14, and I took this beautiful photo. We worked with several different business coaches in the past, and they were all about helping Ryan sell better and just teaching sales, which is awesome, but Ryan is a really great salesman. So we didn't need that. We needed somebody to help us get everything that was in his head out into systems, into manuals and scripts, and actually build a team. So now that we have systems in place, we've gone from 1 to 10 locations in only a year.
In October 2016, we grossed 13 grand for the whole month. Right now it's 2018, the month of October. It's only the 22nd. We've already grossed a little over 50 grand for the whole month, and we still have time to go. We're just thankful for you, thankful for Thrive and your mentorship, and we're really thankful that You guys have helped us to grow a business that we run now instead of the business running us. Just thank you times 1,000.
So we really just want to thank you, Clay, and thank you, Vanessa, for everything you've done, everything you've helped us with. We love you guys.
If you decide to not attend the Thrive Time workshop, you're missing out on a great opportunity.
The atmosphere of Clay's office is very lively. You can feel the energy as soon as you walk through the door, and it really got me and my team very excited.
If you decide not to come, you're missing out on an opportunity to grow your business. Bottom line.
Love the environment. I love the way that Clay presents and teaches. It's a way that not only allows me to comprehend what's going on, but he explains it in a way to where it just makes sense.
The SEO optimization, branding, marketing. I've learned more in the last 2 days than I have the entire 4 years of college.
The most valuable thing that I've learned, marketing is key. Marketing is everything.
Making sure that you're branded accurately and clearly. How to grow a business using Google reviews, and then just how to optimize our name through our website also.
Helpful with a lot of marketing, search engine optimization, helping us really rank high in Google.
The biggest thing I needed to learn was how to build my foundation, how to systemize everything and optimize everything, build my SEO.
How to become more organized, more efficient.
How to make sure the business is really there to serve me as opposed to me constantly being there for the business.
New ways of advertising my business as well as recruiting new employees.
Group interviews, number one. Before we felt like we were held hostage by our employees. Group interviews has completely eliminated that because you're able to really find the people that would really be the best fit.
Hands-on how to hire people, how to deal with human resources, a lot about marketing, and overall just how to structure the business, how it works for me, and also then how that can translate into working better for my clients.
The most valuable thing I've learned here is time management.
I like the 1 hour of doing your business is real critical if I'm going to grow and change.
Clay really teaches you how to navigate through those things and not only find freedom, but find your purpose in your business and find the purposes for all those other people that directly affect your business as well.
Everybody.
Everyone needs to attend the conference because you get an opportunity to see that it's real.